Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. So this will be part 10, and in the last part, we were doing some Dalit side questing, advancing the Laguna storyline, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So what I went ahead and did is, actually was trying to find a lot of windmills from the Thrust Avis enemies in this area. Ended up netting 5 and turned those into tornadoes. So if you take a look, if you try to equip Tornado into any of your stats, it's just one of those powerful magics at this point in the game where it's gonna like double our strength here. So we'll jump from, you know, our 53 that we would have base wise all the way up to 120. So if you want to fight the Thrust Avis enemies, there's some like blue birds, blue flying birds with multiple wings, and their rare drop at low levels is a windmill. You'll probably have to level up around 20s, 25-ish in order to get like the better versions of them. Because in the game, as you level up, when the enemies level up, so do their drops too. You'll probably have to consult a guide though if you're trying to specifically look for certain items. That or use hard mod. So I went ahead and did that. And right now I don't want him hitting too hard, so I just put it in my defensive stats. So then obviously along with that, I wasn't getting high drop rate, so we were leveling up quite a few things here in the GF menu abilities. So we learned a lot of good things. And we pretty much have a really good start right now. Ability-wise, we're just going to still roll with a card for selfie. And then the back plus 20. Squall has some strength bonus now, so at every level up he's going to gain a bonus in strength. So you kind of want to plan out your level ups with these kinds of abilities, because you'll see that I have a strength bonus and then magic bonus. So if you know that you're going to be leveling, always equip these, because it's just one extra point that you'll get in those specific stats. That, or you can just roll around with your plus 40 plus 20% abilities. And then, as a general rule, whenever you enter a new city or dungeon or anything like that, you should probably put on Move Find so you can find those hidden draw points and save points throughout it. Siren learned the treatment, so I have treatment in there. This will, no matter what, even if you do get silenced, you'll be able to cast treatment. So this is a good replacement for your magic, unless you're using Squall as a magic caster. And because of my playstyle, I rarely ever use the GF, so something for me would be like magic treatment draw in this instance. I'm just waiting for more abilities to pop through so I can actually start getting rid of them. There's only certain few GFs that I would actually use in battle, but I don't have any of them yet, so... Diablo's learned Encounter Half. So if you're running on the plains and you don't want to, you know, encounter enemies, you could just do this and it'll cut the encounter rate by half. And then he actually does learn Encounter None. So after you learn Encounter Half, he'll learn Encounter None. Only 100 AP, so it's actually pretty quick to get up to if you just want to sit around here and grind out some enemies. You usually net around 4 to 8 AP on some rounds, depending on where you're going. We did learn a lot of useful abilities too, so we now have the status magic refine, which generally, like if I go to the shop at some point, I'm probably going to stock up on 100 antidotes, and because they're really cheap anyway, they're only 100 gil each. So you buy 100 antidotes and turn these into bios for, a certain character if you want to have a status attack. And you can begin to start poisoning enemies, you can blind them. Break. With Break, it's a petrification magic. So if you actually petrify enemies in this game, it'll work the same as Card, and you won't get experience at the end of battle. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want to keep a low-level Squall, you can put Break into your status attack weapons. And as long as the enemy is susceptible to Break magic, then you can, not gain experience that way. And you just kind of look through the list. We don't want to use our steel pipes. We want to keep them at 6. And we got a whole bunch of new magics too. Something that's very useful to put in would be the death magic. So with this, death is really powerful in this game. A lot of animals, a lot of monsters are susceptible to it. So if you junction this to your status attack, you're gonna be one-shotting a bunch of things in this game, even like late-level monsters too. So death is really overpowered. It comes with the territory of you defeat the monster with death, you're gonna level up. You're gonna gain levels, and depending on how fast you want to level, that's completely up to you. I don't mind leveling at all because I know I'm going to be doing pretty much 100% of everything in this game, so it's going to require me to level up, especially when we get to a specific dungeon. Some of the enemies in there are just way too powerful to deal with on a regular basis, so you can just turn your chef's knives into, just kind of do the math here. You don't want to overspend, so you can put 3 into 1 character for 90, and then use these saw blades. Saw blades are very easy to get. You get them from the Belhelm elves that are in this area. They're like a little saw blade creature. They'll drop pretty regularly, or you can card mod their card into it, and doing that will net you those 100. And then you just want to give your other 100 to whoever you think might need it. So in this instance, if I was to put the death magic, he now has 100% chance of connecting death on an enemy, so as long as it's not resistant to it or immune, it'll hit every single time. And then you can also junction this into your status defense menu, which will give you 100% resistance to death, which is great for setups pretty much in the late game when everything is kind of casting death at you. So just useful magic. Death is something that you need pretty much in every character's inventory. And then as some of the enemies leveled up with us too, they were starting to drop some of the second tier magic. So the geezers in the area began to start dropping Curas and Thandaras in their stock draw, along with the Thrustavis enemies with Blazara and Arrow. And then I kind of picked up some zombies and berserks from the other enemies in this area too. Just spend some time draw, it'll just make you that much more powerful when it comes down to it. I'll just keep my magic just like this. So some magics will actually like increase a bunch of various different stats here. Esuna and I believe Dispel. There's another magic that actually protects you against a bunch of these as well. We just don't have it yet. So you can actually set your characters up in a way where you'll be resistant to everything in the game. Once we start getting higher level magics, we'll start showcasing that. And then I ended up dumping pretty much every base level magics that I don't need. Kind of overlooked one right here just for the sake of this. So to remind, if you don't know how to get rid of like basic spells, you don't have to use 100 in battle or just dump them off to your other characters. Just head into the magic menu, make sure you're in the use little selection there, and then hit the square button, and you'll have the option to remove every single one of those magics, just like that. So, useful tip, because I used to literally spend hours and hours trying to cast all these magics away because I had no idea that you could do that. So just clear up the magic page a little bit, you know, spend some time doing this stuff. This is all story section today anyway. And with that, I believe that's it. Alright, so now we're going to head into our Galbadian Garden, the Galbadia Garden, and we're just going to watch a bunch of scenes and just kind of progress and continue with the story. And once we're eligible to leave the garden is where I'll end today's episode. So while we're inside the building, you might want to equip Renoa with you, just so we can start getting her Angelo abilities starting to upgrade here, because I haven't been using her, so you know. And again, with the Angelo stuff, if you walk, you'll actually learn the ability quicker. Thanks to the ×3 option, this makes this much more manageable since we can kind of move at a fast pace. So just take the time, level her up, because she is going to be used for some forest battles in the future. Just so that you have some available to you. So there are some messages that pop up. They're just telling us where we need to go. Pretty much saying like the seed party from Belong, please head to the 2nd floor and stuff like that. So if you come to the middle area and hit X, there's going to be a hidden haste draw point. So haste is obviously a very good magic. It'll just make your ATB bar go a lot quicker in battle. That draw point will respawn after a while, but it does take quite a few minutes. So if you need haste, you can always just come to the Time Magic Refine, learn from Diablos, and magic stones are pretty common drop for a lot of the enemies in the area. So you can, you know, create 100 haste for whoever you need. It's not too critical right now at this stage of the game, but haste does junction really well with the speed. With the speed stat, and we won't get a GF that learns speed anytime soon, so there's, you know, for me, haste isn't really needed right now, other than the ability to just make your characters faster. We'll check Renault here. And yeah, I mean, it's a steady grow, but as long as you walk around with Renault in the party, she'll end up learning Angela's abilities, and when you hear like this little jingle, it's different from that. It's way different from that. It'll be like a much more like twinkle jingle, like a shooting star type thing, and that'll mean that you've learned the ability, so you'll have to go back into the menu and learn something else. Yeah, so it'll steadily grow. We will explore the garden a lot later. We don't need to do it now. You can, there are some interesting NPCs in here to play cards against, but Galbadia's rules are kind of crap right now, so we don't really want to do anything with them right now. There's no rare cards to be won here. There's one specific NPC that will play some high-level boss cards at times randomly. Good opportunity to get Renoa to learn some of those abilities. And this garden is a maze, so you'll get lost frequently here. So generally in one of these type of rooms is where we'll see a couple NPCs spawn inside. Has this hockey arena. We'll reference a enemy that we'll see in the upcoming chapters here. This draw point has life magic. So pretty important to come this way, just kind of get some lives right now. We'll have an opportunity to stock draw those. Yeah, so if you come into this room, this NPC over here with the red scarf, she plays some level 6 boss cards from time to time. So if you're okay with the hand that you got, or if you need to refine some of these, then I would take the time to do that. As you can tell, I was really trying to get those windmills with this Throsavis enemy, and they were just not dropping frequently enough. So I ended up netting a bunch more of their cards than I needed. So you run into this problem where you're carding way too many types of enemies. You have kind of two options here. You can use the items that they drop on refinements. Let's see if the Throsavis drops the Sheer Feather. So we don't have the GF that will be attuned to that magic yet, so we won't be able to use it for compatibility's sake. So we would actually have to use this magic, or use that item, and turn it into items. And this could be a slow process here, but you would have to turn this into, 100 arrows for your characters that don't have magic equipped, and then you would have to just delete them and then redo it, and then card mod all over again, until you get rid of, you know, the cards that you don't need. And that's going to be something that I do off camera, because playing a random rule when you have that many cards of a weak variety inside is not going to be too good for your sakes of winning. So before I make that choice, there you go, we heard the ding. So with that, Angela has learned a new ability. It doesn't take any time with the ×3 option on, which is great. So just walk around the garden if you need some stuff. And by the time I return in the next episode, I'll have all of these learned, because I'm just going to do circles around. There you go, you can just keep coming back and forth, try to get that haste up to whatever you want it to be. And you're coming back here so we can see what kind of rules they actually want to do play with. So here the NPC wants the random, same, and elemental rules. We'll see what spreads throughout the region. So this is great. With elemental being the rule that spread around the region, it did dump the random rule. So this is just kind of random stuff that happens throughout the game. I can't really like predict how it all works. I'm sure there is like some kind of way to do it, especially when you do the Card Queen quest. She will abolish a bunch of rules in some regions that you don't want. But generally, this is how I've always done it. Just kind of, if you don't like a rule that gets put into the system, then reload your last save. Hopefully it wasn't too far back, and then just keep spamming square, quit out of it, and see what rule would spread out throughout the region. And as long as you always maintain at least open, everything else is really, you can just deal with it. Because a lot of the enemies here are not gonna play cards that match your high level cards right out the gate, because none of them are going to own a 9 and an A, at times maybe an 8, but you know, if you just play smart, you should have no problems with them. So here I'm trying to see if I can get my trade rule all to pop up, but for some reason every time we get in these late areas they always just want to stick with the trade rule 1, which is a shame. So we'll go ahead and play this hand. And yeah, she played her weaker hand now, so. And there you go, you see one of the level 6 monsters that she has on there. The little blue thing, it's called a Krista. So she'll drop pretty much all of the level 6 boss cards. You just have to play her continuously. So with the same role in play, if there wasn't like the minus going on here, like with the -1 and the -1, Zell's 8 would match Diablo's 8 underneath him, and his 5 on his right side would match that monster's 5 on its left side. So if you match up the numbers like that and you have the same rule in play, you'll actually hit like a bonus, and it'll start flipping all sorts of different cards around. This is how the NPCs end up like starting to really beat you up when you start playing with rules like that. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these kinds of things. But in this instance, because they got minus, it would not give me the same bonus, because it's really right now it would be 7 and a 4. So it would be a waste of a turn there. Yellow indicates that you don't have that card. You've had it before, but you don't have any in stock. So in this case, I would want the Krista card. And yeah, just play her over and over again, and you'll end up winning a whole bunch of different boss cards, which I'll probably do a little off screen, just because I want to beef my hand up a little bit when I do have to play with the random rule again. So with that, just head up these flight of stairs. Make sure you see the number 2, and then you're going to come right through this door. And we will let these events play out. So I'll rejoin afterwards. Self-talk just something else, man. Yeah, it looks like Renoa had relations with Cypher at some point in the world. That's never really elaborated though for pretty much the rest of the game. Yeah, so Fujin and Raging Hair are just explaining what we need to do next. So in this instance, head towards the outside and we'll have some more scenes play out. Just kind of give everyone to talk to here. Save Renoa for last. This will advance it. and Irvine comes with us with some back problems, so this is our 6th and final member that we'll actually pick up in the game. And just kind of talk to your characters here. Talk to Renault to advance it. And now we got our new mission, which is going to be to assassinate the sorceress. Yep, and you can already tell what kind of guy he is. So again, I would want Renault just because I'm going to do some leveling up with Angelo stuff, and then I'll keep questions. And finally, after like hours of the game, they're literally teaching us how to switch members. But we don't need that. So anyway, with those events wrapped up, new mission now is to head to Galbadia and advance more stuff that's going to happen over there. So in order to do that, what you'll need to do is there's a train right over here. You'll just need to walk onto the platform there. You're going to have at least 3,000 gil because you're going to have to pay for another ticket, and then you're going to ride it all the way down to Delling City. And that's where we're going to pick up on the next part. So in between then, I'm going to play that NPC for some cards, some boss cards, and get rid of those Thrust Avis cards, along with leveling up Renault's limit break stuff. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next part.